robots in agriculture.
Yeah.
You sent some really interesting stuff over, and I'm super curious to see just, how robots are actually like changing things out there in the field.
Yeah.
We've got a podcast transcript called Robots in Agriculture, Feeding the Future from the Robotics insects, and some other sources too.
Yeah.
And I guess our mission is to really like get a grasp on, what kinds of robots are out there, what problems are they solving, and what does the future hold? Because it seems like this whole field is just exploding right now,
Yeah, no, it's really fascinating how robotics is kind of emerging at this time when agriculture is facing all these just unprecedented challenges.
Right.
With the population growing globally,
Right.
resources being strained, and then climate change.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Totally unpredictable.
Yeah, so robots might be able to offer a way to produce more food, but with less impact, which is kind of the big thing.
Yeah, and that's something that the podcast we have here really digs into.
Okay.
It talks about labor shortages and how it's just becoming harder and harder for farmers to manage all of those like really repetitive and physically demanding tasks that are so essential to, keeping a farm running.
Yeah.
And it seems like robots are stepping in to kind of fill those gaps.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not necessarily about replacing human farmers.
Right.
They're more like high-tech partners.
Yeah.
They're boosting efficiency
Yeah.
and allowing for more sustainable practices. One example that comes up a lot is precision farming.
Oh, precision farming. I've heard that term thrown around, but I'm not totally sure I could explain it to someone.
Okay.
What exactly does that look like, and what's the robot's role in it?
So think about it as giving each plant exactly what it needs.
Yeah.
No more, no less.
Okay.
So robots that have sensors can measure things like soil moisture and nutrient levels, and then deliver precise amounts of water and fertilizer.
Wow.
It's all about minimizing waste and maximizing yield, but also reducing that environmental impact.
That sounds incredibly efficient. So it's like almost like each plant is getting its own personal caretaker out there.
Yeah.
So what kinds of robots are we actually talking about? Are we talking about like humanoid robots out there tilling the soil?
Not quite humanoid,
Okay.
but the range of robots in agriculture is pretty impressive.
Okay.
So like planting, for example.
Yeah.
There are robots that can precisely place seeds at the optimal depth and spacing.
Wow.
So that ensures the best conditions for germination and growth.
So they're already kind of fine-tuning that from the very beginning.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool.
And then on the other end of the cycle, we have harvesting robots.
Okay.
They're equipped with cameras and AI, and they can identify ripe fruits and vegetables and then gently pick them without causing any damage.
Oh, so no more bruised apples.
Exactly.
That's a win for consumers and farmers, I'm sure. But what about weeding? I imagine that's something that requires a lot of dexterity and precision.
You'd be surprised how good